All right, JR, welcome back to PreMarket Prep. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, team, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. What have you been trading? What's been top of mind for you?
I'll tell you one thing. Every time I travel now, I check whether it's a Boeing or an Airbus. Never have I been a...
I don't check.
I've become an avionics and aeronautics specialist at this point. It makes me very nervous that things keep falling off of planes, but I guess that's another story.
Can you pick your plane? Like I've never tried. Can you actually pick your plane when you're buying your tickets? Like, do they tell you what plane you're flying on when you're buying your tickets?
You know what? I'm sure that's going to become the next surcharge after using the bathroom.
We go on to our Expedia and say, what type of plane do you want to fly in? That would hurt Boeing big time. If they started actually, if Expedia or Booking or any of those came out and actually started to let you pick your plane, be like, I'll take the Airbus. I'll take the Airbus.
Well,
that would be actually a problem.
You know who else it would hurt would be Boeing, or not Boeing. It would be Southwest, because Southwest has an all Boeing fleet. And I actually flew Southwest over the weekend, and so I was on a Boeing 737 MAX 8 both ways to and from St. Louis, and no problems for me, but it certainly did at least cross my mind a little bit when I sat down and looked at the pamphlet, and I was like, I think that's the exact plane that had some of these problems. But either way, look, you had some wheels fall off, you had a door fall off. At least we haven't had a wing fall off or anything like that yet. So the planes are landing.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. So JR, any momentum indicators? Let's talk about some indicators for a second. What indicators do you typically use when you're looking for some breakout stocks and things like that?
Price is good. I like price.
Price,
on price. It's not a bad call. Okay, well, let's take it a step further. What do you like that's breaking out right now? Because there is a few stocks breaking out here right now. Some from long ranges. I mean, Intel's breaking out actually over the course of the last couple of days, really. I mean, it hasn't run too far here now. You got to wait for a pullback on this thing, because that's a big move for Intel. What are your thoughts on this Intel, a little breakout from this $30 area?
It's okay. You got a bunch of overhead supply at 34. Look, I like to tell my traders, think like a merchant, and know the quality of your merchandise. I like the AMD trade a lot better. I've been waiting for AMD over 175. We've been stalking the trade. We entered it yesterday. It's gapping up this morning, and our target's 205. It's leaking a little bit here in the pre-market, but you really have to get over that there's a 174.70 pivot. You got some overhead supply from April, but I think we're gonna start to build a cause here, consolidate, and make a move for 205. So AMD looks good. We just got out of Meta from 487 to 530.
That's a nice one.
That was a good one. That needs to consolidate now. We're going to let that cook for a while. And Tesla, when nobody would take her to the dance, we took her at 172, 175, and sold her at 250 last week.
Oh, so, you just got out of Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla, you got a lot of sellers at 250. Tesla is one of those stocks where it makes a dramatic move and then goes into a sort of a coma for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And the latecomers just get chopped up, and we've been there, done that, gotten the T-shirt. So I'm going to let that consolidate. I think we're going to let that consolidate. I think 300 may be in the cards.
But
Tesla's one of those.
Needs to do some work at 250.
Tesla is all things to all people. To some people it's a car company. To some people it's a technology company. It'll rally on car sales news, but the same people who'll tell you, well, Tesla is a robotics and an artificial intelligence company, will point out their amazing car sales as a catalyst. So, I think there's still a lot of confusion as to what it is. In my opinion, the robotics and robotaxi is the real gem in Tesla, and I think it's been overlooked which is why I think Tesla will soar past 300 in relatively short order.
JR, I just want to go back to that Intel trade because you talked about, the breakout or not Intel, excuse me, the AMD trade breakout.
Yeah.
That you gave a 205 price target. Now, I mean I'm looking at this on a risk reward ratio here. You're looking for a big gain long term here. The question is now when you're managing this trade, I mean, to make 25, 30 points in here. Talk about your risk management on the downside. Is it something that you want to, if you pull back, that you want to add to, or just talk about the risk management because that's a really nice reward on the upside.
Yeah, we're talking about indicators. If you anchor, I don't know if you guys like anchored VWAP, but I'm a big fan of Mr. Shannon. Brian Shannon, and that is one indicator that's actually really helpful in this particular scenario because it's a basically dollar cost averaging and momentum indicator. And if you actually tag the high on the 8th of March as an anchor, you will see that now you broke out with volume and you pinched above that anchor. So if you use your VWAP anchor and the 172.25 handle, you have a really nice area as a sort of red line in the sand with a beautiful upside target. So that is the trade idea.
Where does that come in right now currently on AMD?
Well, it's going to change obviously, but currently you're at around 172.80 on the anchor. So you have a pretty decent risk to reward if you accumulated it yesterday between 175 176. You have an amazing risk to reward on that trade. So I think AMD is going to be the laggard story after NVIDIA, and I think we're going to see the let me move to 205. If you just look at the price action, you have a bit of an ABCD type of move already from the pivot low on May 2nd to the pivot high yesterday. If you look at the daily chart, it's not the prettiest, but if you look at the daily, you will see that you're kind of already forming a trending channel higher. So I expect AMD to continue higher here to 205. We might base here for 3, 4, 5 days above VWAP, absorb some of the prior sellers from the first week of April 5th, and I think we're going to go.
JR, here's a question for you, and this is something that I've struggled with. I've trained 25 years, but when the stock runs, really 15% in basically 3 days, I struggle to chase it. Like it was $156, and then it goes to 178 in 4 days. That's a big move here. I have always struggled to chase. I want to pull back. I want to dip to get back in. Should sometimes you just close your eyes and actually chase these things because sometimes you don't get the dip.
Well, this is a problem. It's a quality control issue. Okay, when you have quality merchandise, okay, there's a certain auction price I'm interested in, and for me that was 175. If you're dealing with a quality stock and a quality setup, I don't care that it's up 10% or 15% from a certain level because it is a significant and meaningful breakout in a quality name. And it's in no way, shape, or form, in my opinion, overbought. I believe it's the beginning of the move. So it's a matter of quality, in my opinion.
JR, we've got this QR code up for your virtual trading room that our viewers can go sign up for. We also have a link in the description. What can viewers expect if they go sign up for this?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot of I call it trader de-education. So the trading world is full of people selling magical indicators that don't work and teaching people technical analysis out of context and not teaching people to think like traders. I tell people all the time, I can't teach you how to trade. No one can. Okay, it's a very personal thing, but I can teach you how to think about the markets. I can teach you how to think about trading, in a way that's going to be sustainable and long term. And then you're going to have to figure out how to make that work for you in the market and find your own edge. So we're gonna be talking a lot about this week, helping people find their edge, helping people understand how markets work, and we're gonna have a 2-day scalping course as a way of teaching people. It's sort of teaching people by example. I'll show people what my edge is scalping the markets, how I make it work, and then laying out the proposition for themselves. What is your edge in the market? How do you feel based on your behavioral profile, based on your style, that you could make a plan like mine work for you? And so we're going to do that for 2 days. We're going to call it the daily grind, high probability scalps for working traders.
JR, there's different market environments, right? And, I don't know what you use for your volatility indicator. I just kind of use the feel for the market, the average range in the S&Ps. Talk about your style of trading and volatility. What do you use to measure the volatility? And as you know, being in the markets for years, sometimes you just have to change gears. Sometimes you get in a consolidating market, breakout market. What do you use for your volatility indicator? And what do you use to say, okay, this momentum market's may be changing a little bit to more of a consolidating market?
Sure. Well, I used to like the VIX, but it's been broken. And you really have to pay attention to, in my opinion, you have to pay attention to all of the different intermarket type of indications. How is the market moving in relation to the bonds and the TLT? How is the market moving in relation to the dollar index and the 10-year and crude and gold futures? So I do a lot of that. Price action is really important. And then you just have to watch the tape. If you're a day trader, even a swing trader, you have to pay attention to how the market reacts to certain price levels. You have to look at market breadth, advanced declines, and you have to look at volume. So, like a day like yesterday, if you look at it on the daily chart, it's a very different experience in retrospect to say being in that weird, choppy grind up all day. So you really have to pay attention, You
mentioned the VIX is broken. Why?
I think it's 0-day options, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Why do you say it's broken though? Like what is giving you the indication? Like it's just not, telling you what you need to be told? Like why?
Yeah, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing as a volatility indicator.
And you think that's because of the 0 DTE? I mean, if you think about it, like to say the VIX is low, you can look at some stocks here like hell. To me, it some issues it is, and of course the S&P has been a steady grind. But tell us why. Do you think that this DTE is going to lead to? We always talk about, the gamma unwind and, during COVID and how that made things. Do you think is this something you keep in the back of your mind is like something that could be a major detriment to the market? Or
no, I don't. I don't know. Think about it. The put call ratio is totally dead in the market, right? Mm-hmm. So why would the VIX be dead? And then on top of that, we have the last 1% decline was 50 days ago, guys. The last 2% decline in the market was in the SVB crisis. The long-term consensus, the S&P 500 consensus expected long-term earnings growth is at 17. Like, why would the VIX be high?
So, and I think you're making a fantastic point here. Just, 0 DTE is basically kills volatility.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense too. Like you think everybody's taking these outsized bets. So, just even the natural market making effects of that are going to be the opposite. So that's going to keep price from, overall, and it obviously depends. And we do see volatility on individual names. So it's not like it's everything, but this overall market here, to your point, like, I mean, we just don't seem to get the violent sell-offs anymore. We don't get,
No.
not on the indices is what I'm talking about, not on individual names. Holland Troy's down 20% today, but I mean, on individual stocks, yes, you see some big moves, but these indices, there's so much rotation, there's so much going on, they don't move.
Yeah.
Not like the violent moves.
I think for that, you A, need some panic. B, you need a strong move in the DXY. If you want, like, for what I watch for in terms of volatility and intraday shifts, the dollar index, okay, that is a fantastic leading indicator for a volatility in equities. And when you go gamma positive to gamma negative, you get these big volatility moves to the downside. So those, in my opinion, are far more useful than the VIX.
Well, JR, it's been great to get you back on pre-market prep. Again, we do have this QR code on the bottom of the screen if you guys are interested in signing up for JR's room. We also have a link in the description that you can hit that will also take you there. JR, it was great to catch up with you and hear about your thoughts on the market. Anything you want to leave us with?
To new traders, please use as much risk management as you can. Take it slow. Trade small until you have a trading plan, a game plan for the markets, and an edge in the markets. Find your edge. It is the most important thing you can accomplish as a beginning trader. Find your edge with proper risk management, and you will succeed in the markets.
There you go. Well, JR, have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll catch up soon. And again, guys, go hit that link in the description or QR code on the screen.